Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. The time to buy silver is later. Let's find out why. When is the best time to buy silver? That is a question that has perplexed many of us for quite some time. If we could time the markets and be able to make our purchases at the most opportune time when silver's at its lowest and be able to capitalize on that, well, we'd all be rich. Even with silver, we'd be rich. But for most of us, that's not the case. Most technical analysts, by the way, when they measure and study the charts, even they can get it wrong from time to time based off of prior patterns and the like. And then there's also the temptation that falls in line. Most of us, even the hardcore stackers among us, we do see the beauty of silver that you see before you. It is very reflective and very shiny. And even if you get one of the same thing or get a variety of the most recognized and most liquid of the pieces that are among us, well, having a lot of it really it is quite alluring and attractive. These pieces are, from the American Silver Eagle that you see before you here to the Canadian Maple Leaf that you see back there. There's a lot of different styles and ways to collect as well. And so, it perplexes many of us here when we make a purchase and then the price goes down, or we don't make a purchase and the price goes up. So the question is when should we buy? Well, sometimes it's good to wait. And the thing about it is, my feeling is that if you purchase silver pieces, whether it be a collectible piece or for stacking, you are limited by one thing and one thing only. That is your budget. And that should really be your ultimate guide. Because in the end, silver will protect us from economic instability. And in the long run, there's times where silver performs very well for us, and other times, like over the past several years or so, where it's been perplexing how silver has kind of just maintained a status quo, a level that really has been kind of discouraging for many of us out there, because we've not seen much price movement. In fact, we've seen the price go down. We've seen the gold to silver ratio widen a bit. So there are a lot of people out there that feel that we're on the edge of a breakout with silver and that the prices will start to climb up. Now, if the prices do climb up, well, it's going to more than likely bring us to a point of FOMO, what's called FOMO, the fear of missing out. And we don't want to miss out on climbing silver prices. We want to accumulate as much as we can. And that is a real thing that affects all of us, especially if you are a hardcore stacker. But even for us collectors out there, when we find unique pieces for our collections, we want to be able to get them, especially if they're limited. And so there's this real temptation to want to accumulate silver in times like that. And I want to encourage you to resist that temptation. No matter what kind of piece it is or what have you, if your budget doesn't allow for it, don't get it. Because, the thing is if you put something on credit, usually it's a good thing to pay it off within the 30 days to avoid the interest, and you can utilize the credit card to your advantage for points. But at the same time, you can get over your head, and by the time you pay the interest on that card, well, your whole reason for stacking has gone out the window, because you've basically spent unnecessary money for that piece. And so that is one of the major reasons why it's good to be fiscally responsible. And for most of us in this community, for those of us who acquire silver, we're acquiring it to represent and to showcase as an example of fiscal responsibility. But just like anything else tangible out there, or even intangible, it is easy to get carried away. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to fall into the hands of the debtors out there and be stackers in debt. You know, because then sooner or later, some people who accumulate silver, they get in over their head and they have to sell it. And many times, depending on the timing, you will sell at a loss, especially when you consider the premiums that you buy for these. Because every single piece of silver you buy is at a premium. There are times when you can find silver for very, very close to spot, or in some cases, if you utilize certain tools out there, you can get it for under spot. But in the end, for most of us, we're paying over spot for it. We can't really expect to recapture those premiums, especially on some of the collector pieces out there. And by the way, this message is especially for those of us that are collectors out there. When you realize, hey, I can't afford to get this, and it's just not worth doing. I've run into that a time or two, many times, when there's some pieces that I liked, and I just realized I can't spring for the purchase. There have been other times in the past where I have not been as disciplined, especially with my goal right now. I've got to be extra careful to try to accumulate more gold. It's very easy to get in over your head with gold purchases, especially considering that you're paying a lot of money and the premiums do increase the smaller the sizes there are. And so it is a matter of saving up and being able to pay off if you utilize your credit card points or cash back rewards, that type of thing. And so it is crucially important because you can get in over your head and you're paying on interest and especially if you put them on a credit card and you go into debt and you realize you can't pay it off within a month or two, and then let's say an emergency happens, and that emergency, especially if you don't have cash on hand or savings in a bank, which is why it's important to have that, and you have to use your credit card for another purchase that is an emergency that you need, then you've just increased your debt even more. So I would encourage those watching this video, if you do get into accumulating silver on a regular basis and set goals, and especially if you want to keep up with those goals, make sure they're fluid. Make sure that they only are there for the extra money that you have to be able to put into it. So no matter what percentage that you have put down for, if you 10% of your discretionary income or what have you, then, I don't hold on to that so hard and fast, especially if you are short this particular month or have other obligations that you need to take care of. No matter what the hype, no matter what the item, no matter what the product, whether you're a collector or not, and there's one piece that you need and it's only a limited mintage, it will be there down the road. And you may say, well, what if it's in the secondary market, it's going to go up in price? That may be true for a while, but I've noticed with the collector market that in time, if you're patient, and I'm telling this to myself too because it's very difficult many times for some of the collector pieces I have, which is why I'm not trying to get into too many new series out there. But if it's a limited mintage and it's a piece you need for your collection, well, hold on. Sooner or later you'll find it on eBay or some other source, and then you will be able to accumulate it for the price you would have paid at new, or maybe even less down the road. A lot of these higher premium pieces, sometimes you can find them for a lot less. And so there you go. So that is the way to do it, to be fiscally responsible and to make your money work for you, not against you. So that is a way that you can realize the timing to buy silver. And sometimes the timing leads to buying silver later instead of now. And that is really the crucial thing. By the way, I will make note here that this bar in the middle here, I've just noticed this, is not 8.1 ounces that you see here. It's 1.8. I have it upside down. Sorry about that. I am not being blasphemous to bunker bullion there. There it is. So there you go. Now it is right side standing up, and none of these bars have fallen over yet. Thank goodness. So there you have it. Enjoy your silver. purchase it as you can afford it. If you can buy silver free and clear, you're going to be a lot more proud of yourself, and I think you'll still appreciate these purchases that you get, and you'll be able to stack on, and it's that fiscal discipline that I believe many of us have, but it's good to be a reminder of it. I know this video is just as much a great reminder for me as it would be for anybody else. So this is self-therapeutic, so to speak. So I hope you enjoyed it. Post your thoughts below, and continue to stack on as you can, and enjoy. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.